last section, we're going to really look at this idea of generating power. So for us, this really means, specifically in Aikido, is working with kokyu work, which is basically, we look at whole body generating power, the use of the whole body rather than isolated parts of the body. So this is really the work when we look at the taijutsu work in terms of spiraling and connecting all the parts of the body to one point of the body. We'll kind of build out from the work with the bokken, with the suburi, and then go into some taijutsu work. So really the basic forms that we use, henko, morotedori, and then a little bit of ikkyo work. Okay, so we'll get started. Hey, so we're just going to start really with a really simple exercise. Just imagine you've got a sword. So in this case, to kind of unlock the kokyu work from the sword work, imagine you've got the sword and you're just going to raise and then drop. And you can do this in hami or you can do this square arm. Key works just with the arms. So really raising with the arms and then sinking down the body. Really with a sense of the sword work in the hands. So coiling up and coiling down. Full extension with the hands. Coiling and down. Coiling up, coiling down. Go ahead. Good. Okay, good. And the key work in this is not to make the wrist rigid. So don't make the arm rigid with the extension and just kind of lift it and lower it. So in the same sense, when you've got the sword, this way, the wrist really mobilizes through the movement. So the wrist is really mobile. All the joints in the arm are going to be mobile through it. So in this case, really get a sense that you're going to coil through the hands this way. So the spiral work is kind of immediate. I don't kind of wait for it and then glung, wait for it and then glung. There's really a sense of coiling all the way, spiral all the way. So really get a sense of mobilizing, especially the wrist. We tend to be quite stiff. And the reason for that is that the extension is mistaken for rigidity. I make it rigid and then I move it. I really get a sense of extension out, which is not rigid. So an extension which is not going to lock the joint system up. Okay, we'll do an exercise for it. This is a good, I got this from Systema, but this works with kokyu. So what you're going to do is grab the arm strongly, and at the same time as you grab, open the hand out. Just on the wrist this time. Sometimes we do this down the arm, but in this case, just on the wrist. I mean to grab strongly and then expand out with the hand. So grab as strong as you can. Keep the arm loose, and then really expand and open it out this way. So I don't want to do this and go gong and make the wrist, the hand just rigid. So if I do this, I feel that this grip just stays strong, stays connected. What I want to do is a sense that the wrist expands and then out through the fingers. So have a sense of something coming out from the hand, opening out the hand. And you'll feel the difference in the connection with the grip, the gripping hand, between rigidity, just pressing the hand out, and really extending and opening the hand. You'll feel in the second case a kind of expansion against the grip itself. So you're filling into the grip, connecting into the grip. So this is the work of extension, which is really just connection work. So this, and grab really strong, as if you're kind of going to squeeze the bones, and then really get a sense of expanding against that grip, or expanding into the grip is better. Expanded. That's it. That's it. Okay, and then some of you are doing this already. Get now a sense of coiling and extending it. So you're going to have a sense, you can do this by kind of pressing it into the body, and then get a sense of extension out and then expansion out here. Get a sense, really make a distinction in this case between, again, pushing and stretching out and expansion. It's like blowing up a ball. It expands out. So it's the difference between extension, expansion, and pushing and stretching. So really get a sense, in this case, you can play with raising, just grab, and then get a sense of extension, raise. without pushing, just coiling through with a spiral. Coiling through with a spiral. So I'm not looking to push, just open and extend. Connect, open, extend. Connect, open, extend. Good. Mm. And now without the grip, just get a sense of both hands working together with the feet. I want you to have the sense of from the raising, this, raising, and then what I want you to do is gather it and press it forward this way. So again, without pushing, just the sense of raising and pressing forward, full extension. So from this kind of neutral position, ground, press out. You're going to find now the extension in the motion. So ground the body and press it forward. You can do left side, right side. Ground and press out. Really strong full extension out. Yeah. Start from a really neutral position. Ground and press out. And press out.
Michael, when you're extending, is your weight 50-50 on your feet?
Yeah, when I kind of basically finish the movement, this I'm gonna land both feet down, and both the weight's basically gonna spiral into the ground this way. It's gonna spread out this way. And
So your weight is in the middle?
Yeah, right in the middle. My posture's forward, so I'm basically gonna kind of roll forward into it this way. So I'm going with the extension this way, flexing from the hip, but I'm allowing the weight to center. So not this way pushing out, but really sinking, spiraling down this way.
Thank you.
Good. Okay, now really watch the position of the hands. If I do one thing with the hands, this. If I go to this position, this is basically, I'm going to use a pushing motion. I'm basically working against. So I'm automatically going to go into pushing motions. Really get a sense in this sword work is this way. This way. So if you imagine a kind of pin in the center of the hand, this presses forward. This presses forward, and it doesn't rotate out. So it's not a movement out, it's a movement coiling, spiraling forward this way without this happening. Okay, and I also don't want to work with the elbows like this, which is pushing. What I really want to do is this, all the movements that we do from the sword work really rely on this work. So using the sword this way, and not this way. So not this, really this. This. So really get a sense of this part of the hand, coiling forward this way. Yeah, that's it. Good. Okay. Good. Good. Okay, now just working with a little bit more movement. Back to this movement we did right at the beginning, this Urumi Tenkan. So you're going to enter in and then coil to the back. Now with really a sense of full extension out. So coil and find the extension. And then in this case, just release it. So start from a neutral position, roll into it and find strong extension out. Real strong sense of kokyu. Coil and find a position. Neutral, roll in and kokyu. Roll in and kokyu out. This way. A strong movement, enter, rotate, extension. That's okay, and I really need the hand weight to be based in the hip work. So I'll automatically go to isolation and strength if the hands are working independently. So the hands start to work independently, it just pushes me into the area of using an isolated body part. So I really get a sense that the hips and the hands connect. So really get a sense, hips, hand. Hips and hand, hips and hand, hips and hand, hips and hand. So really this, and not this way. Yeah. So try and really feel the whole body, one coil through the body, and extend it out from the hand. So source the power from the ground, direct the center from the hips, and extend it out through the hand, through the periphery. This is the basic use of power that we have. That's it. Better. Good, good, good. Good. Okay, great. We're going to go into tiny henko. So just again, take a kind of neutral position. Hand me, but nice and relaxed. The body's stacked up. You're going to offer the hand and really get a sense of extension out. So extension into the ground. Now from here, shifting the weight in, entering the circle in, out, and then rotate into the back. Full extension and ground in the handwork. And then from here, just change sides. So start, really break it down. Neutral, sink down and extend at the same time. Here. Sink the weight in here and then roll to the back. A nice, strong, heavy extension. And then just change it. So sink, ground, extend. Ground in the movement and press to the back. Give it a try in your own time. Really break it down in this. Neutral, sink, extend, enter in, and then rotate. And just a really specific, watch the footwork. When you do this, try and avoid rotating in this way and already adjusting the back foot. What you need to do in the sense of keeping the weight down is just press into the back foot. So just press and enter. Press and enter, but don't adjust this foot here. The moment I adjust it, this is where I'm working in a different area. And this is fine for the kokyu nage when we start to work in this kind of area. But in terms of tiny henko, all I want to do is just press the weight in. Means I'm just going to sink into the back leg. No adjustments, just sink the weight down. Yeah, and then from this position, find the rotation and adjust. So really break this down into the simplest possible movement. Sink into the back leg and enter in. Enter into the circle and then just roll to the back. Keep it extended. And then shift back. So extension, sink. Coil back. Yeah, give it a try. So just really simplify the footwork. Simple as possible. Good. Okay, now just do this as one motion. So you're going to offer and just roll through on the ground. And in this case, just to try a different motion, I want you to curl back this way. So curl the body back. Find the extension, just roll into it. And then from here, curl the body back this way. Here, roll back, curl back, roll back, curl back. Just really keeping the connection hips and hands, all the body moving together, rolling back, curl, roll back. Yeah, give it a try. Try this. A kind of two-step movement. Right. And again, just really get this idea. It's really easy. Almost everything we do is in the front, is in the hands. But there's always this tendency to be in the front all the time. Everything's in the front. Even if my posture's right, my feeling's in the front, it will just automatically I'll start to work in contraction. And any sense of generating power from the ground will be minimized. So really get a sense you're gonna operate from the back of the body. So get a sense of the extension out, full, and then roll the back of the body. And then in this position, really get a sense of back, presses back. So the back, always think back and down, back, down, back, down, back, down. And really move away from this feeling of being in the front, 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 and be more expanded, more open, and more in the ground, more in the back, more in the ground, more in the back. And then your power really has an anchor, and you can really generate power through the ground. I think back, down, all the time. Nice, better. That's it. Good. Great. Okay, good. So I got some morotedori, kokyu ho. So this is really the first thing where we're really looking at functionality, or really using power, generating power, and then really using it. In terms of Taina henko, just looking at blending. So in this case, really, again, ground the body, find the extension, and now from here, really sinking down, entering into the first coil. So this way, and then from here, coiling the body up, and really just look for this extension. In this case, just do 3 each side, just the very first motion. So find the extension, sink the whole weight down. Everything sinks down and then coils out this way. So just 3 each side. Keep it nice and tight, fully extended. And then just change sides. So 3 each side, extend, ground, sink down, coil up.
How high should my hands be when I finish? Like face height, close to face height?
Yeah, in this case, watch the extension. You're gonna be. I'll do it to the camera. Let's see. Wait. You're in this position. You're gonna roll in this position here. Yeah. So both hands are gonna coil this way, out. See that? This way. Round, coil up. Yeah. The key point in terms of the structure of the arm is the elbow. What I don't want to do is work in this area, this way, where the elbow is basically sticking out. Again, I want to be working in this kind of space. This kind of space. And not this. Good. Okay, and then just to the next move. So you've got this big coiling spiral in this way, and then you're gonna really press from the ground. So press from the front foot and coil up the body this way. Coil up the body this way. Opening the back hip and raising the hands this way. And then from here, pressing down into the ground, finding this position. So just really take your time, really base this movement in the ground. So coil in, the front foot presses, raise up with a coil here. And then from here, hips, hands, press down this way. Okay, give it a try. So morotedori into the extension, the second spiral. Ground the body, roll the hips in and press towards the ground. Big, clear, open, expanded. Nice. Great. Nice. Good. Good. And so really get a sense of the relationship or what you're doing to your partner. In this case, the feeling is going around their power and pressing into the ground this way. What I don't want to do in this case is it's not really a push out, a push away, an extension out this way, but it's really a sense of coiling around the power here and pressing it down into the ground. So in terms of sword work, it's really clear, pressing the weight down. So really get a sense now in this motion, rolling over here and then pressing down. Should feel really heavy, grounded, solid. Totally grounded in this case here. What I don't want to do is have the sense of throwing them away and out of the ground. So really get a sense you're going to press the whole power in back into the ground this way. Really ground the movement here. Coiled into the ground this way. Really heavy, strong. Coil in this way. So everything, all the pressure is going towards the ground. Yeah. Yeah, good. Nice. Okay, we're just going to do a set of movements based on the Taina Henko morotedori, and then based on the movement of the Suiwaza kokyu, which is really extending using this position. So it goes like this: you find the Taina Henko, roll to the back. Do the same motion we did before. Roll into the back here, connecting the hands. Now you enter into the morotedori. Here, roll down. Now from this position, hips and hands move together, and just coil out to this position, and then release down. And then you're on the other side. You do the same thing. Taina henko, ground. Find the back. Find the morotedori. And then from here, hips and hands work together this way. And then roll back. Yeah? Give it a try. Do right side, left side. Do Taina henko, morotedori, and then this kokyu position based on the Suiwaza work. Okay, and this transition for the last one, you're in this position here, in the morotedori, the finish. Now from here, the back fur curls, and I find the grip this way. You're in this position, and now the whole body's going to coil in this way. So you've got this position, and then coil all the body in this way. So down, whole body. Down, whole body. A really strong spiral down into the ground. Spiral. Big, strong position at the end. Nice. Yeah, yeah. Nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good. Okay, good. So I want you to take a bokken or a jo. In this case, we're going to just look at an ikkyo. Real basic movement. So in this case, bokken is in the right hand, right foot forward. You're going to do the slide out. So this is like a katatedori. So the first motion, slide out, hand on top. In this case, taking the grip, and then you're going to curl up from the ground and find a spiral. Both hands extending up. Take the grip, and then applying the hips down onto the ground, and then taking a big step in. Full extension here. Use a few times on each side. Right hand, right foot forward, and then coil to the side this way. Pressure down, hand extended. Take the grip and then coil up with a spiral here. Find both hands extended. Find the grab, find the grip, apply the hips, keep the extension strong, and press in the body this way. This is basic ikkyo mote. Off to the side, coil up, apply the hip, and step through. Good, strong extension now. There we go. Good. Okay, and I really want focus on a sense of width through the grip. So one sense, if just my position in the hands is too narrow, I can't really focus on a sense of width. The arms are forced, the elbows are forced to go into these kind of position, in this kind of position, and the chest is automatically contracted. So I want you to experiment. I basically want a wide width through the chest this way. So the hands are a little bit wider. This really, I'm on the hand and I'm on just above the elbow here. So just work on a sense of width through the body. Here, also here, this way. What I want to do is contract. As soon as I go into contraction work, I just lose this and lose any sense of the ground and the whole body. So get a sense the whole body slides out, width in the body across, and then from here, find this position. Strong extension out. In this case, this hand really has a sense of extension out this way, and this hand has a sense of extension out this way. So it's a really full extension, pulling away. And then from here, apply this down, keeping the strong sense here, wide, and then pressing in through. Yeah. So just explore mostly this direction. Again, we do this because it's a frontal technique. We tend to get trapped in the shoulders, in the chest. So really, again, back down and explore a sense of width through the body. Here, rolling down, pressing in. Yeah, yeah, good. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, and this is just a point really of awareness and coordinating the body. Really watch the first thing to go. So it usually tends to be the hand, cutting across the hand, and then the body. Try and really organize the body around this structure: ground, hips, hand. So really go the impulse from the ground into the hip and then out into the hand. So just really, really be aware, be conscious of what goes first: the hand, or really a sense of pressure from the ground into the hip and then into the hand. And the same here, really organize the body. I can do hand and then the rest of the body, or I can do pressure from the ground, impulse out, here, impulse down, this way. So really just try and really catch what your body's doing. It's usually going to the hand. This is the thing that I'm doing it with. But really the technique's done the whole body. It's gonna curl through, the whole body opens it out. And it's not that the hand does nothing, it's not the hand doesn't move, but it's the impulse is coming from the ground. Try and make this really clear. The slower the better. You can really catch it. Right. Good. And then we'll look at Urawaza. So in this case, just at the same beginning, just roll out. Now from here, this changes. What I do is the back foot comes in at the same time as finding the extension. And then from here, coiling to the back with the extension. So the Urawaza, really change the footwork. Here, the back foot presses in. Here, find the extension, grip, and then coil it out to the back this way. It was like this: 1, 2, 3. Nice big spiraling movement to the back. 1, 2, 3. Like this. Nice, nice, nice. Nice, nice. Good. And I think this is probably one of the hardest techniques in Aikido that we've got in terms of connection work and in terms of generating a spiral through the body whilst maintaining connected, whilst maintaining in the ground and controlling the person's center. This is one of the hardest techniques to do. So in this case, really watch that I don't just bring the arms up and down and kind of coil back, lose the extension. If I lose the ground, I lose the extension, I go into contraction work, I go into power, I go into strength work. So really get a sense in here, you're gonna coil through a spiral. Strong, extended, and connected. So coil out and then really get into a spiral this way. You can start to bring the second movement together, coil out, and then enter into a spiral. Really use a sense of spiraling power from the ground. Ground, hit, hand. Really work with a spiral. Yeah. Really the sense the whole body's just spiraling through the motion. Yeah. Very nice. Right. Nice, nice. Okay, good. So we'll do one motion technique based on the Kinonagari work. So there's different variations. In this case, all I want you to do is change the foot, change the hand. You're going to kind of slide back. So imagine in this case, it's a bit like the bokken's coming towards you. Imagine like a munodori or a katatedori coming strongly in this way. So I want you to really guide the movement out. So rolling back, pressing down here in this position. And then you can either unlock the spiral into the omote this way, or you can roll it around here, open it out, change the foot and coil around to the back. So in this case, get a sense that you're going to change all the body. The whole body coordinates backwards, find the position here, open this all out, and then enter in with the spiral this way. Okay? So give this a try. Just coiling to the back, opening it out, and coil it over. Just work with a sense of really flexible connection, blending the movements in together. Really with a sense of spiraling from the ground.
And no, I'm all right. I get the other one. Same time, every time.
Okay, I'm just going to really exaggerate this first movement. So again, there's a tendency to go with the arm. Yeah. And then as soon as I'm in this position, it's automatically, I go into the arm first. So try and really exaggerate this movement. You're going to shift back and allow the body to sink back. Really going to ground down this way, through the hips. So strongly down into the ground. And this pressure from the ground transfers into the hand in a spiral this way. And then that pressure that I've got here built in the the ground, I release it into the coil this way, and then press this down to the ground. So really get a feel for slightly exaggerated movement, but really pressure down, and then release it out this way. So slightly exaggerated or really exaggerated, down. And again, the work is really to mobilize the hips. This connection, down. Nothing tight in the hip. Everything's really flexible through. And coiling through. Really exaggerate the work of the lower body. Yeah. Good. Right. Okay, good. And then all I want you to do is just work with different kinds of movements. So any that you know, which is basically going to blend from an attack like a munodori or a katatedori grip. So you've got the basic, which is just sliding out to the side and then coming in. So this just out to the side, blending in this way. And then the one we've just done is stepping to the back and then sliding through for the technique. So rolling to the back, sliding through. The other variations you've got are where you're going to rotate and then press out and then find the technique. So opening the movement out to the back, sliding through and then coming through. Other variations you can go inside the arm, underneath and then press down. What I want you to do is just explore different movements, different blends, and then this relationship from the ground into the hips, out to the hand. Working with spiral movements all the time. So ground everything and coil through the body in one line. Do it slowly or a little bit more fast. Just explore these movements. And really the key to the shift from working with a kind of Kihon static form, this way, and then rolling in, really static Kihon, to a more fluid form is really the work of the center. So in this case, it's not that I just speed up the static form with these kind of pauses and form. Really get a sense of fluidity through the forms. This is where you're working really in this kind of Yawarakai stage, this flexible fluid stage. So really get a sense that once the center starts to coil, it doesn't stop until the end of the technique. So feel that once you start the spiral work with the center, it doesn't really stop until the end. Right. So there's no kind of pause and then start again. So really try and make this flexible now. So fluid, all the time the center working. All the time. It doesn't stop. Wait. That's it. Good. Okay, good. Very good. We'll stop there. So, there's a less session. So this is really about kokyu power, which is really where you're going to use the whole body. So it's really on these first levels, feeling the whole body and using the whole body as a unit, one unit, unified unit. And then the second idea of using extension, so extension out. And then the third stage of kokyu work of generating power is really built on those levels. So the kind of key we use for that, or the structure we use for that, the organization is generating the power from the ground, sourcing the power from the ground, directing it with the center in the hip, and then expressing it out the hands. And this is really where all the techniques are based. And that work is actually best done with the sword work, which is why the first suburi is so crucial, especially to our style anyway. So that's a lot. And this is really the taina henko, morotedori, kokyu, and suwairazu. These are really fundamental for training this principle. And ikkyo is one of the most perfect techniques for training the dynamic in a really clear way. So that's it. Okay, we'll bow out. Domo arigatou gozaimasu.
どうもありがとうございました。
Thanks a lot, Michael.
Great, very good. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.